and gents, it is that time again for another I Got Gameplay. And today's show is going to be a fun one for everybody because we'll be talking about gaming mascots. Well, not necessarily gaming mascots, but more the supporting characters. The guys like your Tails from Sonic the Hedgehog, your Navi from The Legend of Zelda. Those ones that can really be real effective if used properly, or just piss you off because they keep disturbing your gaming time. Yes, those guys.
Hey!
Just but before we do that...
Hey! Listen! Hey!
Before we do that, before I get to punch someone in the face, let me introduce you to our hosts, my co-hosts for today, including myself. We have the man, the myth, the legend, the owner of Mega Powers Radio, my boss, and also a gentleman with his hands in many, many podcast pies. It is Mr. Payton.
You forgot to mention that I'm from parts unknown.
Oh, yes, I keep forgetting about that. I keep trying to find your address, but it's just not on any map.
Oh, goodness gracious.
And also we have today with us another gentleman who's making his I Got Gameplay return because he's been busy shooting things up and playing loads of tournaments. We have the man, the myth, the legend, and the not so much epic beard because he's kind of shaved it off, Mr. Sean Walker.
Never, ever step on a plug. It bloody hurts.
What did you do?
I got out of the shower and my light bulb was blown in my bedroom and I didn't realise when I stepped on a plug.
Oof! Ow!
So I'm doing this with an injury, boys.
That's worse than stepping on a Lego.
Yes, but as long as it's not like a big black dildo, you've got no issues. Yes, I took it there.
You know, I imagine stepping on a big black dildo would be rather soft. Probably wouldn't hurt that much. I mean, it'd be embarrassing.
What's up, Internet Wrestling community? This is Anthony Mango of SmarkOutMoment.com, a wrestling website dedicated to the smart marks like you and I. We break down and review every pay-per-view with predictions and spoilers, and you can catch our weekly podcast on YouTube for some smack talk. There's no rules here, and we show no mercy. You can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at SmarkOutMoment, where we analyze all the angles, shoot first, and kill kayfabe. That's www.smarkoutmoment.com. Why mark out when you can smark out?
Or if you're Angry Joe, you'll be standing there like screaming on the fact that if one touches you. It's kind of hilarious. I watched his review on Saints Row 3, and he literally filmed himself going to this place to pick up a big purple dildo. And his friend threw it at him and was rubbing it on his face, and he kind of freaked out. It was hilarious. But what about you, Payton? How are you today? Have you stepped on any plugs?
No, I stepped on lots of ants. I am currently fighting a war against ants in my home because it's nasty hot summer, and all the bugs are trying to make their ways into my house to get into the cool air conditioning. I've dealt with stink bugs, I've dealt with ants, I've dealt with spiders, I've dealt with lightning bugs. It's been absolutely insane. It's a regular bug menagerie in here.
Oh, yeah. The same thing's going on in here. There's ants coming in to my home at the moment where I've literally, if I'm typing away at my keyboard, there's an ant just comes in and starts joining in the fun.
You know what? No, you know what crawled across my desk the other day? A freaking earwig. An earwig on my desk. Where the hell did that come from?
I'm not a bug person. That would have freaked the fucking shit out. I would have been in the shower for nearly an hour. That makes my skin crawl. Bugs are not a thing. So if anybody tries to send me bugs in the mail, I will kill you. I will.
If I open that briefcase and there's a bug, I'm gonna freak out.
I would. I'm literally asking.
There better not be any bugs on that ladder.
Because I step on those bugs and I squish them. But as you know, ladies and gents, we start with the show with the first part, and the first part is we talk about news. So, let's see if I can find the news segment. Yes, we can. Here we go. So, gents, what's in the news this week? Let's start with you, Payton. What have you got for us in terms of gaming news?
I actually don't think I have anything. I haven't really heard any big headlines coming out. It's been a relatively quiet week. I feel like I'm missing something. Didn't Nintendo do something big this week?
They apparently did. There's a couple of things in terms of Nintendo that I'll probably dash into. There is a big chance that Nintendo is going to be buying Atlas.
Oh, that's fantastic. I'm sure Sean Mitchell would be quite happy about that.
I believe he'll probably be jizzing in his pants at the moment by even the notion of having Nintendo do so, because I know he's a big Nintendo fan just like the rest of us. And that's due to the fact that the Persona 5 series is one of the biggest things in terms of Nintendo's gaming library. So they're looking at actually potentially buying Atlas, which means that they would have another first-party developer that can develop for Nintendo hardware. So that's looking...
An exclusive really third-party developer at that.
Correct.
Which is something they don't particularly have, so that'd be great.
But the bad news coming for that means that there would be no cross-platform games coming from Atlas anymore. It would, unless Nintendo wants to actually have them develop for other platforms.
Well, you know what I can say to all those PlayStation and Microsoft fanboys? I can finally say, hey, you know what? You don't like it? Buy a Wii U. Suck it.
Well, we've been saying that since Bayonetta 2. So, you know, it's actually quite funny seeing how this is all going. And also, Nintendo have released a Nintendo Direct Mini on the 18th of this month as well. And they were talking about a couple of the new games that are coming out, including Monsters Manor, which is where you're using characters in a collective tag to unlock pieces of a mansion to build, explore, whether it be fight ghosts or collect treasure. They also have a game called Warrior's Way coming out to create large armies and battle against warlords and conquer worlds. Sounds like my cup of tea because I love games like that. Huge Civilization fan. Mii Force, and it's use your Miis to blast enemies, and that's pretty much simple enough on that one. And Flower Town, where you tag people to build gardens and take pictures and share. And all these games will be released in the next week or so on Nintendo eShop for a bundle of $14.99 for all 4 games, or you can get them for $4.99 each. So there you go, guys. If you're into handy little mini games from Nintendo, this is your thing. Purchase it. I just recently purchased Earthbound, which was released this week as well on the Wii U shop. Nintendo have been doing really well. Yeah, go on, Paige.
I actually thought of something. Nintendo is continuing their 30th anniversary of the original Nintendo Entertainment System on their Nintendo eShop. They've been doing a series of games. They usually alternate every 2 weeks where they're putting a classic game up for 30 cents. I've seen games like Metroid, Yoshi, F-Zero, a bunch of other games that they've been doing a special on. This week, they just switched it over to the original Donkey Kong. So if you're a Donkey Kong fan, that's something to go check out. 30 cents. How can you go wrong?
Yeah, I originally had that for my Nintendo Entertainment System, and it was a game that I always played with my father. We would literally, it would be a point where he's backseat driving, and he would sit there telling me how to complete the game. I bought it, and then all this nostalgia kind of wiped through my face. It was just like, oh, Donkey Kong.
And all of a sudden, you start hearing voices behind you. No, Dad, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, then the men in white coats come and get me.
San Diego Comic-Con was this week. There wasn't any kind of big gaming news coming out of there?
No, there wasn't really much.
I know a lot of television and movie stuff came out. We're getting Predator 3D, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Can we get a Predator 3D game, perhaps?
Well, the biggest news sort of came from EVO last week, where Capcom have stated that they're going to be rebooting Street Fighter 4 once again.
Oh, God.
There's another addition to the franchise with Street Fighter 4 Ultra.
Super Pitch Fighter Ultra?
Street Fighter 4 Ultra. Basically, you have the choice to purchase the downloadable content side of it for, I believe it's the cost of like $14. The same price that you pay for Super Luigi U on the Wii U. Or you have the chance to actually buy the games as a standalone for a full price of $35. And this is going to be happening in the middle of 2014.
Talk about milking a cow. Bloody hell.
Yeah, they always do this. every time there's a Capcom fighting game, they release about 7 or 8 different variations of it. That's why I felt robbed when I bought Marvel vs. Capcom. And then they came out with Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom, not even giving you the freaking, not even allowing you to download that portion of the game as DLC. I would have been happy if they allowed me to upgrade my game for a price, like a third of the original. No, you've got to buy that bloody game just so you have, 2 copies of the bloody thing. Wait the hell out of me. But at least they're doing it right this time. They're giving you the option to either upgrade your original version, including Street Fighter 4 or Street Fighter 4 Arcade, or you have the chance to buy it standalone. So that's pretty impressive. And in Microsoft news, they got booed out of the building.
Wait, at SDCC?
At EVO, they got booed out of the building when they tried to show Killer Instinct 4. They came in, and as soon as the guy introduced them, the developers behind it, people were just going, boo! This video is circulating online, ladies and gents. I'll make sure I put a copy of it in the Facebook group if you want to go to and join us on facebook.com/IGotGameplay. But it was hilarious to see it happen. I feel bad for Microsoft, don't get me wrong, but this is what happens when you crap on the bed that you're sleeping in. It's gonna stink, and there's gotta be repercussions. So,
that is a horrible analogy. I'm just picturing, what's his name, Steve Ballmer, hanging over his bed, laying a big, sweaty, nasty turd, and then laying in it.
It's one of those things.
He's the kind of guy who's into that kind of stuff.
But, Don Matrick leaving the company hasn't really stopped them from being the way they are. So, yeah, it works on this verification of the fact that this has happened. They're going to get a lot of heat back from this, and there's also a possibility due to that DRM reinstation petition that's circulating around that that Xbox could end up becoming full DRM again before the company released the Xbox One. I'm not happy with this, but if that's the route they're going to go, if they're going to lie to gamers, well, that's what's going to happen. Any other news have you got for us? What about you, Sean? You got any news for us?
Pikmin 3 is doing well in Japan.
What's going on with Pikmin 3?
It's boosting Wii U sales in Japan, which is all good.
Yeah, the cool thing about Pikmin 3 is there's a lot of GameStops in America right now that you can go to. They might even be doing this in Europe too. I don't know. I know they're doing it in America, where you can go to your local GameStop and you can try out Pikmin 3. Sort of a layover of what they were doing during E3.
Mhm. That's exactly it. In terms of the gaming sales at the moment, Pikmin is a game, and I believe the game itself has a lot with it. You can say Japanese audiences would respect it a lot more than American audiences, but that's because a large portion of our audiences, tend to go for your FPS shooters, your fighter games, and I'm not saying there isn't a huge chunk of you guys out there who do like this sort of game, but it's nice to see it, and it's nice to see Nintendo get a boost from this. And now I'm going to go into a couple of negative Nintendo news quickly before we start talking about the theme. The first one being that Nintendo has decided to copyright claim videos again. There was some news in Kotaku that Nintendo had stopped, even though they're being a YouTube partner, they have stopped monetizing people's videos and taking the money away from YouTubers, including gamers and reviewers, etc. But now they've started again, and I can say this myself. If you go to youtube.com/thenerdgenius, I have a couple of videos up there, ones including talking about the E3 from, I believe it was the Nintendo Direct, and I had a small portion of Nintendo footage on there, which they decided to copyright claim. And, now, if Nintendo decide they want to, because I've decided to debunk that claim, they could sue me for breach of copyright and choose to get the video taken down if they make a decision to do so. So this is really bad. Apparently, a lot of gamers are facing this. I know Braden Mayhew, one of our co-hosts on the show, he frequents the show a lot. He's youtube.com/SpooBeast. He's been suffering the same thing for using a small segment of music from Super Mario 64. And it's happened to a lot of guys doing playthroughs and such as well. Do you guys, any thoughts on this? What would you weigh in on this? Do you think that it's right for Nintendo to do this? Do you think
I think this is one of the dumbest things Nintendo can do right now, which is go against their independent folks market. I mean, that's the people that have really supported Nintendo through this. I mean, your big mass market gamers, they've been all about the PlayStation and Microsoft. It's the little guy who's been supporting Nintendo. And for them to take a tax like this on people, especially at this point where they're so far behind in the hype going into the next gen, it's really, really not smart. I want to know what person on their team that they should be doing this, because that person should be fired.
Yeah, it's the same thing when you're looking at big promotional companies. I would like to use a wrestling reference here. The WWE are guilty of this as well, where they've been attacking a lot of YouTubers in terms of their product and their copyrights and stuff. Nintendo are taking away a lot of free advertising, and I've said this on my video, so I'm trying not to reiterate what I've stated on there, because if you want to look at the full rant, you can do by going to my YouTube channel, and I'll give you guys details of that later on. The company is doing something where it's like, for my video as well, it's like 1 minute worth of footage, because I wanted to show a little bit of Scribblenauts. And it's literally me talking over that small segment of video, detailing what the game's about. And if you really want to go into the basics of this, it's not just Nintendo, it's a DC property. Because DC are with Nintendo on this game. I know it's being developed by them, and they're saying it's their video footage, etc., etc. But that's free promotion. And I'm not even talking, I'm not slating the game or slating the company in any way. I'm reviewing, critiquing, and promoting their product. And that's what a lot of YouTube gamers are doing. And now that the internet has evolved so much, gamers are using YouTube more and more, especially playthroughs, to see what a game is about. There is a negative side.
You hit a very important word there. Sorry to interrupt. You hit a very important word there, and that's evolve. Entertainment industry in general has been evolving in the last 10 years more than it ever has in its history, especially with everything going into a digital format, everything being so accessible. And these companies that are making video games, movies, music, whatever it is, have to learn to adapt, or they're going to get left behind. And we've seen this especially with music, where record producers were trying to sue Napster, and they're trying to sue Kazaa and get those sites shut down, and trying to keep everything the standard of people going to the store and buying a hard CD. That ain't happening no more. Finally, we saw people like Pandora, Rhapsody, Spotify step in and like, listen, we know this is how you want your music, so we're going to adapt to it. We're going to find a way to bring this music the way you like it, yet still make all the artists happy. And that's what they've done. We need to find something like that for video games. I'm not saying to make like an on-demand video game service, but these video game companies have to realize the age that we're living in and how we're moving forward and adjust, because this is not the way to try to shut people down like this.
This is the thing, and I agree totally with you on this, Payne. And I'm for those of you who don't know, I'm trying to actually adapt a certain business model in terms of filmmaking to work a lot with the online media market, because it's become extremely accessible. If you're somebody who has wanted to get into a certain industry, like filming, like gaming, like writing, for instance, if you're writing a book, it's never been so accessible as it is now. To the point where you could go to Amazon and get your book published on Kindle. You could go onto places like Libsyn and get your app published on your iPhone. You could go to someone like Scribber and get your movie, your game, whatever, distributed on places like Netflix and Hulu Plus. It's an accessible industry, an accessible market, and as Payden said, these companies, instead of actually advocating for this, they're trying to take us back to the Stone Age. They're saying, no, you can't have access to our content. You make a YouTube video like reviewing or critiquing our content, and we're not giving you permission to do so. We're going to take that royalties that you get from that video, and we can literally monetize that video. Nintendo's not as bad as, say, someone like the WWE who would get your content taken down. I've had cases where companies have literally taken down whole channels because something appears to be something that, that it's not, like an image, even though it's been edited or doctored, is infringing on their product. And there's a line that's been crossed, and because no official laws have been set to aid people, they are using the laws set in place, including copyright laws, to get YouTube to take these people down and take their channels down. And they really need to be treading on eggshells now, because if companies start doing that, there's going to be no more of a review system. People aren't going to be very happy with this, and in turn, they'll stop playing your games. The same thing goes for Nintendo. How much are they actually going to be earning for this? Like 10 grand? Possibly?
Chump change for them. Anyway, listen, Mike, I've just reached my destination. I'm going to have to bow out for now. I'm going to try to get a call back in later to talk about our topic of the evening, which is the gaming sidekicks. I have a really unique answer for that I definitely want to get in there. So I'll try to make another call in about 30, 45 minutes. But I just got to my friend's place, so I'm going to bow out and go play some actual video games and do stuff other than that, too. So, keep listening here on I Got Gameplay. I'm sure they're going to have a cool topic going down talking about gaming sidekicks. And keep listening to all the other great shows here on Mega Powers Radio. For now, I'm Mike Payton. I'm out. Good night, guys. I'll catch you in a little bit.
Thanks, Mike. Have a nice one.
All right, buddy.
So, what's your stance on this, Sean? What do you think? In terms of Nintendo doing this, do you think they have every right to, or do you feel that in terms of being a company, do you think that they're shooting their nose off to spite their face on this?
Well, I think they're shooting themselves in the foot, because a lot of YouTubers I watch on YouTube do Let's Plays of Nintendo games.
Yeah.
And I know certain people, I'm not going to name people on here, have gone to doing Let's Plays now on the Xbox. Which for me isn't as entertaining as watching Nintendo gameplay footage. Swings and roundabouts, isn't it?
Yeah, no, that's the big thing as well. In terms of companies, in terms of what Nintendo's doing, they're kind of getting to the point now where they're going to end up costing themselves a huge chunk of revenue here. Because people will stop advertising their games, they'll stop having YouTubers promote their stuff, and it will get to the point where nobody, like such the big YouTubers as well, such as AVGN, I don't know, I think he's managed to get around it because they're old games, and he hasn't produced anything new at the moment. But they're going to stop. They'll stop promoting Nintendo's product, and once they stop, it will kind of backfire at the company. And that's the thing. I've said this in my video that I wanted to do a 10 positive things about the Wii U vid. I wanted to talk about the reasons why you should buy a Wii U. I can't do that because if I do, Nintendo are just going to copyright claim that vid. There's no point. Why am I going to do it if I'm just basically going to have Nintendo attack me over it? And I'm, even though they're saying, well, we're just copyrighting the video, we're not actually taking the video down. Yeah, but you're taking away revenue from people who have worked hard at these videos. I, for one, I can tell you I'm an avid YouTuber. Sean knows this. I make videos probably about 3-4 a day sometimes. And it's a lot of hard work. You've got to film it, you've got to edit it, you've got to make sure you get the effects and bits and pieces in, you've got to make sure that everything's all clear and concise, that it's rendered in 1080p. You've got to make sure that it's the best possible vid that you can make, otherwise people will skim over it. No one's going to actually sit there and view your content if it's not worth a shit. So by the fact that Nintendo are doing this, it's ridiculous, and I really hope, and I'm going to email them this week about this and see if I can get them to back off a little bit. I'm going to try and see if I can talk sense into these guys, because in terms of the way the company's handling the situation, it's not helping. It's not helping at all, and I really, really hope that we can actually get this resolved and that Nintendo will see sense. But we'll see. So let's go from that to our topic of discussion today, our big topic in terms of IGG, and that is gaming sidekicks. So we'll do that while I put on the little soundbite for us, if I can find it. Sorry about this, guys. I am totally off the record today. It's silly. I should have this done. There you go.
Nintendo might copyright that.
Yeah, they probably will.
Surprise, motherfucker.
That's what they're going to say to me afterwards. So, we're going to talk about gaming sidekicks. And let me elaborate on this a little bit, guys. Gaming sidekicks, we talk about the guys who are in a positive light. We got guys like Sonic and Tails, for instance. To every Sonic the Hedgehog you have Tails. To every Mario you have Luigi. To every Link you now have that irritating little bug Navi. We talk about the positives, the negatives, those gaming sidekicks that piss us off, and those gaming sidekicks that we say do an amazing, amazing job. So while we're starting that, Sean, do you have any special sidekicks that you have fond memories of?
Fond memories of?
Fond memories.
Probably Luigi, the little green man, you know.
What is it about Luigi that really helps?
I was never Luigi. I was always Mario, so second player was always Luigi, so that always helped.
If you look at the evolution of Luigi, and it's actually quite fun because 2013 is the year of Luigi.
You got mail.
And before we talk on that, let me just introduce us to another host who's joining us today because he's available, he's free, and he's a great guy with extreme gaming knowledge, Mr. Jeff Croup. Jeff, are you there?
Yeah, hey.
We're talking today about gaming sidekicks. Do you know who's your favourite sidekick?
You've got mail.
I guess Yoshi, if Yoshi's the sidekick.
That's actually quite true, because Mario's had a slew of different sidekicks, hasn't he?
Yeah, because Yoshi was like his pet / sidekick.
Oh, what were you going to say there, Sean?
I was agreeing.
Yeah.
I would say Yoshi is a sidekick.
Yeah, because he debuted in Super Mario World, if you guys remember, for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, which I talked a little bit about that on my YouTube channel as well. And he was always the character that you could... He was literally the Tails of the Super Mario universe. Being the fact that you could kill this guy, and all you got to do is go and hatch another egg just to get him back. We all did it. We're all guilty of it. I risked his life on more than one occasion to save my own skin. So he's a good gaming sidekick. He's never turned against me. I've never had issues with him. And at times he has been thrusted into the forefront as well. If you look at Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Story, and also if you look at the Mario and Yoshi games for the Nintendo Entertainment System as well. So he's a very good choice. That's an amazing choice there, Jeff. So let's talk about a negative now. Let's go to a negative character, supporting character. And I'm going to go with Navi. And let's see if I've got the soundbite. I was going to try and find the soundbite for Hey Listen. It was uploading. Can't do anything about that. But yeah, Navi. Sean, do you like Navi?
When she's on mute.
What about you, Jeff? Have you played any any Zelda games where you've got Navi in it? I think when did she debut? She debuted in Twilight Princess.
Ocarina of Time, I think.
Ocarina of Time. There you go.
The only Legend of Zelda game I played was the first one, like the very, very first one, like from the Super Nintendo days. So, yeah. I don't know who Navi is.
She's a little bug that goes, hey, listen! Hey, listen!
Every 2 bloody minutes.
Yeah. Hey, listen!
I think I played the demo of the newer games where she was in it.
She's annoying. It's got to the fact now that people just hate her little voice, and it's kind of sad. They kind of parody it a little bit as well. Okay, let's go to another positive now. Who else do you have for us, Sean?
Cortana.
Who's she?
The Halo universe. That's the Chief Navi, but less annoying, and sexy, and naked, and blue.
Oh, she's the best. Apart from being sexy, naked, and blue, why is she the best?
Oh, she's very informative. She helps the Chief out. She really helped the chief out in Halo 4. If any of you played it, I don't want to give away spoilers, but play the games. You'll find out why Cortana is the best AI in gaming history. Just saying.
Well, there you go. I haven't actually played Halo. I know I'm crying inside. I just purchased Halo 3, so I probably will get around to it eventually once my schedule dies down a little bit. But there you go. Here's another one that annoys me. What's that, Jeff?
What about Knuckles? He is awesome.
Yeah, we'll go into Knuckles in a little bit. Let's go for another negative gaming psychic here with Ashley from Resident Evil 4.
Oh God, Ashley! Oh,
any game.
Retarded and.
We'll broad that out a little bit as well. Any game when you have to assist an AI in the Resident Evil series, they do this a lot now, and it's fucking annoying. Because the fact is, the AI is so sloppy in that game half the time. And Ashley was a prime example of this. She would be getting herself killed for no fucking reason. You know, there's times where you have to keep protecting her. Zombies basically take her out. She slows you down. You get to the point where if she dies, then you're screwed. It's annoying. If you ever play the Resident Evil games, the newer Resident Evil games, we're not talking about the old versions, play so with a friend, because it makes things a lot more easier, and at least they can keep up with your pace. Playing with the AI is annoying as hell, and Ashley was a prime example. Jeff, have you ever played Resident Evil 4?
Yes, but I don't remember much from it.
That's the reason. There you go. Okay, and let's go to a positive, which Jeff has actually suggested here, in Knuckles. What's so great about Knuckles?
Well, he basically was like a major character in Sonic 3. He wasn't more like Psychic said that he was like a side main character. Because you could play as him in certain levels, or in those levels.
Yeah, no, as he stated here, Knuckles was one of many two-way, appropriately named characters in the Sonic lineup. He was Sonic got tons of friends, and most of these guys were freaking annoying, but Knuckles wasn't. He started off as an enemy, kind of a frenemy for Sonic. Sonic didn't have an idea what he was going through. As Sean Mitchell, who's a huge part of this show, usually when he's online, he talks about the Sonic and Knuckles game pack and how Knuckles himself has stood out so much that they've actually made him a playable character. He's one of those characters in the Sonic franchise that you love to play, and I believe he's gotten he has so much appeal that he's at one point been on the equal footing with Sonic. What do you think, Sean?
I never liked Knuckles. I'm sorry. but no. Knuckles for me was, I don't know, he was a slower version of Sonic that could climb walls and glide. He was like a mixture between Tails and Sonic. For me, I just never liked him. I'm sorry, but I played Sonic the Hedgehog 3 and Sonic and Knuckles, and I never got why Knuckles levels were always like shorter, if you get what I mean.
I'm going to eject that.
Sonic would have like 8 worlds, and Knuckles would only have 6.
The reason why I'm objecting to that is on the fact the basis of Sonic and Knuckles, you could basically get to places that you never could in Sonic games using Knuckles the Echidna. So there you go. I'm kind of two ways against that. I'm against that, totally against that. I think in terms of any character in the Sonic franchise, Knuckles is probably heads and tails above the rest of them, including Tails. But, you know, Sean doesn't like him. He's put a valid argument forward, and I want to see if you guys agree with him on this. So if you can't call in on 760-512-7247. That's 760-512-7247. Do you believe that Knuckles the Echidna is just terrible? Or do you think that Knuckles was an awesome character and that Sean is just insane? Let us know, guys.
Tails was always the better character. I'm sorry.
I gotta say, I didn't like Tails. I'm sorry. I'm anti-Tails.
Yes, we're going back onto the negative one there, Jeff, and I'm anti-Tails as well. Tails is an annoying little shit who tends to get in the way a lot, and his role has become more and more annoying. He's become
in the newer games, yeah.
Yeah, as the newer games have evolved, he has just become useless. So tell us, Sean, why don't you like Tails?
I like Tails. I think Tails is great. You know, what's not to like about Tails? He's got 2 tails, man. That could form into a chopper and you could fly, man. You know,
well, I don't
in
like
the
it.
anime Sonic X, Tails is freakily annoying. You know,
he's got to the point now where he's just a little kid who annoys the flying fuck out of me, as far as I'm concerned. In the newer games, he tends to be a sloppier version of Sonic. When he first started out, he was fine. He was a supporting character that had like unlimited amount of lives when you took control of him. Other times, you just kind of got in the way.
In Sonic the Hedgehog 2, in the options, you could just select to play as Tails, and that's what all I did was just select to play as Tails.
There you go. We've got a big advocate there. If you guys agree with Sean, call us on 760-512-7247. That's 760-512-7247. Do it now! And if you want to join us on our chat, we've got the flash chat up as well. So you can join us in on the chat and talk with us, converse with myself and the other Mega Powers co-hosts here, and let us know your opinions on gaming sidekicks. Okay, let's go to another one where we think this character was awesome. So we'll go into another gaming sidekick that we liked. What about Leonardo da Vinci in Assassin's Creed 2?
Never played it.
Leonardo da Vinci was a pretty good character. He was an inventor, painter, musician, mathematician, and engineer. And he had a million other talents. He was the Tony Mango of the Renaissance era. But the most important thing was he helped out Ezio Auditore de Firenze, I think that's how he used to do his name. He acts as the Q to Ezio's James Bond, creating and building him weapons, flying machines with his struggle against the Templars. That's awesome. Having Leonardo da Vinci create stuff for you, he was literally the mentor that you needed in this game. And I am so happy to have him as part of that. And he's just plain awesomeness. What do you guys think?
I never played the game.
There we go. If you agree to disagree, ladies and gents, call us on the show. Let us know your opinions. You can also tweet us. Tweet me at Michael Burhan or at IGotGameplay. On Twitter, we're available on Twitter, or leave a message on the Facebook page, facebook.com/IGotGameplay. So, what have we got for another negative, guys? Have you got another negative one for us? I can give you another one. Waluigi from Mario Party and the Mario Sports series.
I don't mind him in Mario Kart.
If there's anybody that looks like a pervert, that's Waluigi. Besides being the obvious Luigi clone, he has no purpose whatsoever. He's
Wario's brother, man.
Yeah, but he's shown up in only a handful of games, and he's the worst addition to the Mario lexicon that has ever been. I think Wario would have been better if he was on his own, to tell you the truth. Waluigi doesn't really do much, and that's the sad part. So, let's go to another positive then. What about you, Jeff? Jeff, do you like Waluigi?
Well, I like both him and Wario, just because they were like the evil versions of them, Luigi and Mario.
So
I never thought they were bad sidekicks or bad minor characters at all, because I liked how they were the evil versions of the main characters.
Okay, that's a fair argument actually, because they are the mirror images of Mario and Luigi, the total opposites, so to speak. Let's go to another positive now in Tifa from the Final Fantasy VII series of games. She remains one of the most badass and supportive sidekicks in that video game. She doesn't have a giant sword. She doesn't have awesome weapons, but she can hold her own when she's in battle. And, you know, there's been a ton of cosplays with Tifa, and I have to admit, boneable. Very, very boneable. So what do you think, Sean? Do you agree with me? Do you think Tifa is an awesome choice?
I never played Final Fantasy VII because I never had a PlayStation.
You know what? You need to give back your gamer card. Seriously.
What can I say? I was an N64 fanboy, man. I had a choice, and I'm glad I picked the N64.
He made his choice, and he stuck with it. Jeff,
Yep.
have you played Final Fantasy VII?
Yes, and I gotta say, she was a good character, but I gotta tell you, there was one character that was bad from that series. Aerith.
Why so?
What kind of character just sits there and prays, and just sits there for the main villain, Sephiroth, to stab her?
Ooh, there you go, guys. Do you agree? Do you agree that her sacrifice was stupid? That Sephiroth just stabbed her because she was being a total bitch? Do you agree? Jeff, that is controversial. I love it. Call us at 760-512-7247 and join the conversation. Because Jeff is going into grounds here. He's taking his gloves off. What do you think, Sean? Do you think that the fact that she got stuck, because she's basically the catalyst in this feud. She has to die, apparently, in order for that world to survive. Do you believe that? Do you think that she just is useless?
Well, without her dying, there wouldn't be a Final Fantasy VIII.
There you go.
That's all my knowledge.
So, yeah, there would have been other Final Fantasy VII spin-off games from that universe. That's very controversial, Jeff. I love it. Okay, what about Claptrap from Borderlands? What do you guys think of Claptrap?
Oh, Claptrap. Oh, if I make this share right now, he would go on a rant about Claptrap. Fair play.
What did you like about Claptrap?
Oh, what did he like about Claptrap? Everything. He hated his little wheel. He hated his little eye. He hated the box shape of him. And most annoyingly, his voice.
Yeah, basically, for those of you who don't know him, he's one of these characters where he's a sidekick in Borderlands, and he helps you around. He gives you your missions. And, you know, he's very fun to be around. I think he's like Marmite in the sense where some guys like him, others hated the shit out of him. You know, also, you have to kind of fight him as a boss as well in Borderlands 2, you know, because he's convinced that you're merely a minion to do his bidding, even though, you know, he digs through the trash himself and he grumbles away. He apparently is a cruel and unforgiving slot machine, and he's not handy. So there you go. A lot of other guys consider him to be an annoying little twat. Most of them consider him to be a great asset. So if you agree or disagree, guys, remember to call in on 760-512-7247. And yes, I'm pushing to get some conversation on this because I want to hear your opinion. I want to know exactly what you guys think of these characters because they can be assets or they can be extremely annoying. You can also enjoy us on the Flash chat on Blog Talk Radio. If you know where to get your hands on that, that's on the I Got Gameplay page. And if you don't want to spend any money on calling us, you can also click on the Skype button if you're listening to this at the moment, and it'll get you straight into the conversation so I can talk to yourselves. So make sure you get in on that. And I want to hear you on the radio. You know, we want to hear exactly what you have to say. So let's go from the negatives and back to the positives here with Zero from the Mega Man X series. What do you guys think of Zero?
What's not to like about him? He was like a ninja robot.
He was badass. He was
Zero the red one?
Yes. His intentions in the series were twofold. At first, you felt that he was something to help you, but instead, he turns out he was a sleeper agent for Dr. Wily, and he was the reason that the virus in that time was spreading. But he had some awesome things as well, including his laser sword, his cool outfits, and he can shoot 2 shots out of his Zero Buster arm cannons. And, you know, he's a sidekick, but he's not at the same time because he was a playable character. You could play him through missions. You know, he was selfless, he was roguish, and he had a laser sword to boot, peeps. There's respect that needs to go with this character. He was a badass, and an extremely awesome badass. You know, he's so awesome that he got his own spin-off series of games. Think about that. I know they're only on the handheld systems, but here's to bringing him back. Let's hope they bring back Zero, even if they bring him back in a Mega Man, in the normal Mega Man universe. I would love to see him on that.
How about Super Smash Brothers?
Super Smash Brothers as well. Oh, he'd be awesome as a playable character on that. You know, we need to get Nintendo get in on that now. That would be awesome. So, okay, because we did 2 negatives, let's go for two positives now. Potato GLaDOS in Portal 2. Now, GLaDOS is an unflinching sociopath, evil, cruel, condescending villain of Portal, and the first half of Portal 2 went through a bit of a transformation. After her rule over Aperture and ended with by Wheatley in Portal 2, reduced to being stuck to powered by a potato, GLaDOS had some time to reflect on her evil ways and her relationships with Chell, and how great J.K. Simmons' voice is in this, ends up assisting Chell in stopping Wheatley's destruction of the facility, and she's restored to her former seat of power. And when she could end everything for Chell, she saves her, sets her free, and returns her best friend to her. And she even sings a song. It's about how much she hates you, but still, that was awesome. What do you guys think? Have you played Portal 2?
I haven't played it.
Sean?
No.
Ah, you guys don't know what you're missing. Okay, have you got another negative for us? Do you guys have another negative? I've got one big one that I want to put on there.
I've got a handful.
Okay, give us one.
Glowbox from fucking Rayman. Good God, how I hate that Blue Toad. Like, he was the most pointless character in Rayman 2 on the 64. He was useless. His job was just to get captured for Rayman to go save his ass, and just for him to get captured again. What's the point? He should be sat at home looking after his 3 Glowbox little kid things. God knows who would want to have sex with Glowbox, but somebody had sex with it. Me, like, pointless character, like.
I've never played this character before. I've got to look him up now. Glowbox is the name.
Glowbox, yeah. Good
Glowbox.
God. Useless fat blue toad thing. Spangly arms. What's the deal with his spangly arms as well? Like,
I believe he's in the Legend series as well, isn't he?
I think he's been in every other game since Rayman 2. I think.
Apparently he's frightened by many things that happen to him during the game. He's the kind of being with blue skin, wide frog-like mouth, and he's a sidekick of Rayman, and has a rather crazy attitude and personality.
And the biggest pile of shit ever been created in a video game.
Do you guys believe in that? If you want to call in and have a word about that, if you want to call Sean an asshole for saying that, you can do on 760-512-7247. That's 760-512-7247. Now let's go with another positive for that one.
Pikachu and Pokemon Yellow.
Pikachu in Pokemon Yellow. I agree on this. Well, most guys, since the Pokemon cartoon came out, most people wanted to play Pikachu. They wanted to be the Ash where Pikachu was there to help them through everything. And with Pikachu, he wasn't just your sidekick, he was your Pokemon. You could bring him out on first attacks, he could take out the bad guys, and he was always there by your side. He was your buddy. Sean, you've been playing Pokemon Yellow. Tell us about him a bit more.
Well, if you can interact with Pikachu to find out what his mood is, which is, I think, the first in the Pokemon games, because I don't think you could do that in Pokemon Red or Pokemon Blue. So, that was good to see Pikachu's moods. I know later on in the game, if you try to give Pikachu the Thunderstone to make him evolve into a Raichu, Pikachu just sits there and goes, "No way, bitch."
So you have to actually get another Pikachu in order to do it.
I don't think you can get another Pikachu in Pokemon Yellow. That's the only Pikachu in the game, I think.
I think you could get one by trade, couldn't you?
By trade, yeah, but not in the wild. Sorry, I was
Lovely.
drinking.
Can you actually trade using those emulators?
I have to look into it.
I'd like to see that. I'd like to see that happen. But yeah, in terms of that game, Pikachu was your best friend. He was your pal. He was everything. But you could also trade him away. You could trade him away for another character if you were just pissed off with him following you about everywhere. So let's go to one of the worst.
I didn't like Pikachu.
You didn't like him. Why is that, Jeff?
I just didn't like the yellow version at all. I like the red and blue version better.
God damn.
Damn. Why is that?
I just thought it was annoying that you couldn't pick any of the other Pokemon. Like, my favorite Pokemon in Pokemon was either Squirtle or Bulbasaur.
Well, Jeff has a contradicting opinion here. He believes that he doesn't like Pikachu and that he's useless. Do you believe that? You can call us on 760-512-7247. Now, another character who I feel is just the most annoying little shit on the planet. You guys will probably know him if I can get this clip in from him. We'll see if we can get this through. See if you guys can figure this one out. He was the most annoying little shit on the planet. Can you guys guess?
Was it the Toad or the Peppy? Well, Peppy was the rabbit, wasn't it?
Yes.
Slippy was the Toad.
Yes. And even though Peppy the rabbit would say it, Slippy the Toad, I would actually sort of slash them together. Slippy the Toad and Peppy the rabbit. Peppy the rabbit, because every single time we kept hearing him say that bloody annoying thing again and again.
Do a barrel roll.
This is Peppy. All barrel roll. Fire! Barrel roll. Slippy, get back here. Slippy, watch out. Full barrel roll. Everybody stay alert. You've got an enemy on your tail. Use the barrel roll.
And now that's
like
Slippy.
Peppy.
Barrel roll. Do a 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 barrel roll.
Annoying as fucking hell. Half the time you just want to grab your pad, throw it at the freaking TV screen, and rage. He annoyed the crap out of me. And let's go to Slippy the Toad quickly, and why he was the most retarded character in this game. And I'm going to do it for sound bites here, guys, because he was annoying as fucking hell.
Yes, he was.
Thought you could hide from me, eh? I'm hit! Are you okay? Data analysis complete. Here it comes. Daggone it! Don't forget me! Don't worry. Flippy's here. Do something!
Does that voice want to just make you rip your arm off and beat someone with it?
To be fair, though, Slippy was useful.
Okay.
Without Slippy, you couldn't know the boss's shield energy, so...
There you go. There's a counterpoint there. Without Slippy, you wouldn't know the boss's shield. All I can see here is listen to this annoying voice.
Enemy ahead! This one's different. Enemy robot. Dead ahead. Enemy shield F.
And that's why I always shot Slippy down in the first level.
He was slow, he was sluggish, and he kept complaining. He was one of those characters that just annoyed the living shit out of you, and he was right up there with this arsehole.
Oh, and don't forget, you have to go save Slippy in one of the levels because it gets knocked down by a boss, and you gotta use that stupid, annoying land tank.
So there you go, guys. Do you believe these two deserve to be in the worst list?
I do, yeah.
Okay, well, let's go on to some of the best characters. Because we had a tie for two there, let's go for Launchpad McQuack from the Quack Shots game. What do you think of Launchpad? Have you played Quack Shots?
Never heard of it.
Quack Shots is awesome. He took you from one destination to another. He always used to fly you everywhere when you were playing Donald Duck. So you could go from place to place to place, and it also help you out with the mini games. You know, he was also awesome in the DuckTales games and responsible for getting Scrooge out of every level. If Scrooge ran into too much danger lurking behind him, the guy even sat around waiting on the moon to take Scrooge home on a helicopter. And off the chance that Scrooge felt like it, after sometimes life is like a hurricane, all you need is someone like Launchpad as your sidekick. DuckTales, woo!
Hey, don't forget he was in Darkwing Duck.
He was as well. There we go. Launchpad was a man of many talents and many talented games as well as many talented cartoons. So another one we will add as well on this positive list, the weighted companion cube in Portal. These cubes got you out of sticky situations. You know, they had a deep emotional attachment to you, but they're also special. You know, they were the closest thing you had to an ally. They helped you solve puzzles, all until you had to throw it in an incinerator, and it would even let you do that. It had no choice. But still, it was a better sidekick than you deserved. Thankfully, it didn't get burned too badly, and somewhere out there, it's being carried through a field of wheat by probably an insane person carrying a time-space altering technology in her arm. What do you think of the cube, the companion cube in Portal? Do you think they were awesome?
I never played any game in the Portal series.
Ah, what about you, Jeff?
I haven't played any of the Portal games.
Here's another one for you. Epona in the Legend of Zelda series, the horse. She's the best sidekick of all time, referred to by a lot of people. It wasn't a two-tailed fox. It wasn't a badass Turian. It was a horse. Not just any horse, it was Epona. It's Link's eternal steed and the first rideable animal in the Legend of Zelda franchise, and a godsend to anyone who looked out on Hyrule Field and said, I'm not going to somersault my way across every single time. She came running whenever you needed to play her song, and regardless of where you were, she doesn't mind you force-feed her carrots or make her run faster. She traverses into an alternate universe with you in Majora's Mask, and she even appears in another generation of Link in Twilight Princess. She's one hell of a dedicated horse, and this is a horse for the ages. Do you guys agree? Do you think she's awesome?
In Ocarina of Time, yes. Twilight Princess, I just kept being Wolf Link to cross the fields. It was just easier to warp. But in Ocarina of Time, yeah, I can see why she's there. You know, get for me to be rather quick. But then again, you can still warp then, can't you, with the Ocarina, so.
That's very much so as well. But she was useful. She added another level to the game in terms of Link's character, added another layer, and added another way from getting from A to B. So it was awesome having her there at your side. Okay, let's talk about another arsehole in gaming, another one who just was useless. And this is a guy called Roman Bellic. Roman would always ask you to go to strip clubs if you're in the middle of a shootout with police. No, Roman, I don't want to pick you up at 10 a.m. from a bar. And no, Roman, I don't want to go bowling with you at 3 frickin' a.m. He was useless. He never helped. He just kept asking you to do shit for him. Anybody ever played Roman? Has anybody ever had Roman in their game?
Grand Theft Auto 4, yeah.
How annoying was he?
I didn't like Roman. I preferred Brucey. Brucey was the man. In Grand Theft Auto 4. You know, everybody loves steroids, Brucey, like.
Like, you got another one for us in the negative pile, Sean?
Well, I got one that's in between. If that counts, like. And that's the Prepper from Zombie U.
Ah, the Prepper. I can see the reason why.
Yeah.
Because he never revealed his intentions, did he? He said he was there to help, but that's pretty much it.
Well, he helped you through the first part of the game, yeah. And then halfway through the game, he become an annoying little shit. But, you know. And another one that I hate is Dom from the Gears of War series.
Why is that?
Well, in the first game, he was fine. He was okay. The second game, he got a little bit emotional because his wife got killed and everything, and he had to kill his own wife, and he becomes suicidal, and then in the third game he killed himself. But the main reason why I dislike Dom is you have to play the game on the hardest difficulty to get most of the achievements, right? Which isn't a problem when you're playing it. But then when Dom would fall and die, it was game over. You're like, I had to start the level all over again because some stupid AI died on you. That just drove me insane.
Okay,
AIs shouldn't be allowed to die.
That's true in most cases. AIs freaking annoy me. And I want to get into this a little bit as well. What is the point of AI characters in games if they're buggy and they're not gonna like work with you? And I don't mean AI characters that you have to talk to or respond to. I mean the ones that follow you around and then end up getting themselves fucking killed. It's like the one thing that we can't get right in the next generation of gaming is having these follow-around arseholes that just seem to keep pounding you, following you around, and then end up risking their lives for no fucking reason at all. What do you think, Jeff? Do you agree with us on this, or do you think we're wrong?
I never played the game.
What do you think of assisted AIs in general?
Of what?
Assisted AIs in general. You know, the ones that follow you around everywhere.
I kind of hated how they had AIs that followed you around everywhere that did absolutely nothing. They just they'd do this, do that, but they wouldn't like help you do it.
And they would always die a lot. Bloody pricks.
Total agreement on that one. If you guys agree or disagree, you can give us a call on 760-512-7247. That's 760-512-7247. Give us a call. Let us know your opinion. We would love to hear from you because we want to know exactly what you guys think of it. Because those assisted AIs, I have to admit, they annoyed the hell out of me. And I believe it's going to get worse, especially with the new generation consoles coming out. It's going to get worse and worse and worse. So we need to make sure that that we keep doing that, guys. And hopefully they'll get better, but I just don't see it happening. There's no light at the end of this tunnel, I'm afraid. So from that, let's go to the next one that in regards to annoying characters. Sonic's friends. All of them.
I would say Amy Rose sucked.
In the tradition of every new Sonic game that has him have a new marketable sidekick, even though his trend, worse itself, is thinned by the second attempt, his name is, well, we're talking about Tails. We can call him that because he has two tails. We name him Knuckles because we call him Knuckles. The state we've now reached, her name is Cream the Rabbit.
I actually like Cream the Rabbit. She reminds me a lot of Tails. Well, she is Tails, isn't she? She's Tails, but female.
But yeah, but why would you call someone Cream? She sounds like a porn star.
Well, perhaps she was.
She's the worst part of the Sonic sidekicks, no matter how conceptually weird this is.
Oh, no, you're wrong there.
Alright, go on then.
The worst sidekick to any Sonic game is Silver the fucking Hedgehog. Silver the Hedgehog.
Is that from Sonic the Hedgehog, the reboot they tried to do?
He's been in every other game since, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Silver the Hedgehog's terrible. Awful.
Explain why.
Why?
Yeah.
He was useless. He was slow, he was bulky, he had telekinesis, which is just a lame power anyways. At least with Shadow, he was like a clone of Sonic the Hedgehog, but black, which made him even cooler. But Soul of the
Yeah,
Hedgehog,
but when they gave him a gun, he just looked retarded.
pointless.
I'm not even going to go into the whole Shadow with a gun. I don't know who decided, let's give him a gun, that will make him more interesting. I'm surprised that he hasn't capped Sonic in the ass at some point. You all know that you wanted that to happen.
Yeah.
If there was a Sonic Fighters that was released recently, I would like to see Shadow with his gun put a cap in Sonic's ass. But yes, all these new and original little friends, half of them are freaking useless. What is the damn point? And another one in the naughty pile, and that's Baby Mario in Yoshi's Island.
Wait. But Shadow wasn't really a friend. He was like an enemy because he did in one of the endings of the Shadow game, he did kill Sonic.
He killed Sonic in the ending?
In one of the evil ending, he killed Sonic.
I need to see this. I'm going to YouTube that later on and see him kill Sonic. That'd be awesome. No, you know what? I'll do it now, live on air. Fuck it, we'll do it live. We'll do it live! Okay, Shadow kills Sonic. So you've played the game with a gun?
Yeah, I played it, but I never got the evil ending. I always got the good ending and the one in between. I could never do the evil missions. They were too hard. I have to download an emulator to play that, I think, because I can't find my GameCube disc.
I'm trying to find it. There's nothing on my Shadow the Hedgehog. Because I think that would redeem him. Yeah, stage 6. Sonic's the boss. But... Oh. Sorry guys, there's spoilers on this one.
On a game that's like 10 years old.
Ooh, that's badass.
Why is Shadow the Hedgehog got the voice of Seto Kaiba from the Yu-Gi-Oh series?
I don't get it as well. His voice sounds really deep. Let's go into the cutscene. We can forget about the gameplay. We don't need to see the gameplay footage. Oh, here we go. I never knew you had a bad ending on it. I might actually pick a copy of this game up.
There's like 6 different endings.
Sonic's lying there on the floor. Are you going to shoot him? I want to see Shadow shoot him. If Shadow puts a cap in his head, then that's it. Then I'm going to sit there and jizzle over myself. He's standing there with all the emeralds in his hands.
God, voice acting was terrible in my game. Wasn't a fair play.
It was. It's still terrible. What are you going to do with him when he says his name? How badass is that?
You see, Knuckles isn't there to help Sonic.
He's going to destroy the planet. Oh, we didn't get to see him kill him.
Disappointing.
No, he just stood there and just laughed. That's the worst payoff ever, Jeff.
I played it. I remember him getting killed.
He's lying there and like telling him not to do it, and Shadow's just like, I'll destroy the planet. I don't want to see planets get destroyed. I want to see him put a cap in Sonic's ass. Damn it. So yeah, let's go to the next one, which is Baby Mario in Super Mario World 2, Yoshi's Island. What do you guys think of Baby Mario? Was he annoying?
I liked Baby Mario. I thought Baby Mario was ace.
Have you ever played him in? Have you ever played Yoshi's Island?
I I've never, and I don't think I have. Which console was that on?
It was on the Super Nintendo, and the game was supposed to be Super Mario World 2. It was basically the baby going back in time, and talking about how this baby was originally brought to the Mushroom Kingdom, even though he lived his life in the human world, and that this baby was something special. Baby Luigi got kidnapped while baby Mario was roaming around the forest in a bubble. Yoshi picks him up and then goes from Yoshi to Yoshi to bring this baby to the next level. But if you get hit, the baby flies away in a bubble, crying constantly, to points where you can't even get a hold of the bloody thing. It's annoying.
Well, the only games that I played with Baby Mario in is Mario Tennis for the 64, Mario Kart Double Dash, and Yoshi's Touch and Go for the DS, and every single other game I liked him.
He got better, but he was annoying. And I will show you guys by showing you the worst clips of Baby Mario. But I have to admit, he was awesome once you actually got like the star on him and stuff like that.
I'll tell you another worst character as well.
Who's that?
Toad in the Mario Bros. For NES.
Are you telling me that's not annoying?
Yeah, I can see how that could get annoying in time, yeah.
Imagine playing through a whole game. I've actually completed this game and it annoyed the shit out of me. So Toad, why is Toad a bad character?
I'm sorry, but your princess is in another castle.
You just wanted to rip his head off, didn't you?
Enough said, innit? and then he's brought back there from Mario, the new Mario Brothers universe, which you just pick him up and just throw him off the platforms, which...
I do that a lot.
Yeah, I do that a lot as well.
I do
that. My brother and my sister rage at me because they're always blue Toad and yellow Toad.
I tend to do that. If someone's annoying me, so that I can play Mario World with my brother, Mario Brothers U with my brother or my kids, if one of them is speeding past the rest, because my nephew tends to do this, he tends to speed past and kills the lot of us, I will grab him and throw him into into molten lava. Or throw him off a platform. And then he'll be like, stop doing that! Then don't do it! You know, it's annoying. It's luckily enough these characters aren't AIs. The fact is, you do have a choice to switch them off and not play them. I do like the fact that you do have options to play these guys. They are fun and useful if you've got the right person playing with you. Because sometimes you have someone sacrifice their life for a gold coin and stuff for you. And they're pretty good with the characters. You have others who can aid you. For instance, if someone's got a cape, I can pick them up, run with them, and jump into certain spaces with them. So they can fly with me holding them. Get one-ups from the top of poles and stuff like that as well. So they are useful, but at the same time, I can see where you're coming from in the sense where they're just annoying little shits. You got another one for us?
Well, I can't think what the name is, but the blue bird from Darksiders 2, which aids Death in the way he has to go.
What's this bird about?
Well, say like you're in the middle of a dungeon and you get lost and you don't know the way to go. If you push the L3 button, then this bird appears and he goes, show me the way, and then he will show you which door to go through, which is very, very helpful, which is a proper use of an AI character. Not dying every 3 seconds.
Very true. Very true.
Gone.
So I can see the reason why he helps you, sort of aid you in terms of the game. I've never played him. Never played Darksiders 2. I might pick up myself up a copy now because there's no point getting it on the Xbox or PlayStation because there's no DLC available anymore due to THQ shutting down. But I might get a copy for the Wii U because it probably has everything with it. Another good positive character, Zeke from the Infamous series.
No.
Why?
No.
Why?
He was so annoying. He would judge you on every little thing you would do.
What's your moral compass?
I don't need a moral compass. I am an electrical god-type being. I don't need this little ginger fat guy telling me, oh, don't do that, it's wrong. But I want to be evil. I'll be evil.
I actually thought that, what's her name? The ice girl from Infamous 2 was annoying as hell. She whined about getting powers.
What? Why would you whine about getting... Oh, my God. See? That's just wrong. if I had ice powers, I wouldn't be complaining. I'd be like Bobby the Iceman, you know? Fuck that.
Well, I'm going to give you a positive now from the Resident Evil series. Barry Burton from Resident Evil. Do you guys know who Barry Burton is?
Which game is he in?
Resident Evil 1.
I don't think I ever played Resident Evil 1.
He was also in Retribution.
Was that before or after Code Veronica?
Resident Evil 1 was Resident Evil 1, the first game. Just trying to think.
Because I played all the other games after Resident Evil Code Veronica, apart from Resident Evil 6, because I heard that game is bad and awful and...
Right, so let's go into his bit of details about the character. Barry was an airman in the US Air Force, serving in the same unit as Chris Redfield, whom he became good friends with. He left the Air Force and joined the recently formed STARS team, where he employed his vast knowledge of weaponry. Chris was eventually discharged from the force and began drifting. Barry met up with Chris and managed to talk him into joining STARS. So you can see why he's a good supporting character there. He has a loving wife, Kathy, with two daughters named Moira and Polly. Barry's also a gun enthusiast with the NRA member, and when he came to Raccoon City to join STARS, he became friends with the gun shop owner, Robert Kendo. The two were close friends and often went fishing together in Stoneville due to their friendship. Barry commissioned Robert's brother Joe to modify most STARS arsenals, including the sidearm, the samurai edge, and he specifically modified the 40 S&W caliber rounds. Right. Now, in the mansion incident, after the confrontation with Cerberus, Barry managed to escape into the Spencer mansion, along with fellow Alpha team members Chris Redfield, Albert Wesker, and Jill Valentine. Afterwards, he helped Jill overcome several of the mansion's traps creatures. However, Albert Wesker, who was actually a spy working for the Umbrella Corporation, blackmailed Barry to do his bidding, using his family as leverage. Barry began to eliminate any evidence that implicated Wesker and began luring Jill into traps against monsters. It was because Barry that Wesker was able to track down Enrico and murder him. While in the lab, Wesker reveals his control over Barry and has him once to pull his gun on Jill. After revealing that his threat against Barry's family was a bluff, Barry knocks Wesker out with his gun. Jill, Chris, Barry, Wesker, and Rebecca Chambers subsequently escape the mansion.
Sounds like a dick, to be honest.
He had a moral conscience thing going on. He was the guy who he did things, but he did things within reason. And that's the biggest thing, I think, in terms of Barry. And after the mansion incident, Barry immediately moved his family to Canada, out of Umbrella's reach, in order to ensure their safety, and left them to rejoin Chris and Jill in the anti-Umbrella efforts during the T-virus outbreak. When Raccoon City was facilitating annihilation, he took a civil helicopter in order to locate Jill and extract her from the city. Barry came in contact with Umbrella Biohazard Countermeasure Service mercenary Carlos Oliveira, who was assisting Jill and Mr. Chaos, and was able to locate Jill in time and rescue her and Carlos before the missile destroyed Raccoon City. Afterwards, Jill and Barry participated in an undisclosed anti-Umbrella operation until Umbrella's shut down by the US government. This is how awesome this dude is. Do you agree? And he was played by Ken Dard in Retribution, but we don't want to talk about that crappy movie.
Well, he named his kids Moira and Polly, so good on him for that. And he was able to fly him out with when there was like a zombie apocalypse, so that's another plus.
And he put his family to safety afterwards as well, so that's another plus. Jeff, what do you think of Barry?
Well, I kind of think he's a cool character, but then again, that kind of seems kind of like really overkill where in a lot of games, like those Resident Evil games, they always have the character that gets blackmailed into helping the villain.
Yeah, that's exactly it. He was basically blackmailed into being evil, but then, saw the right side of it. So what do you think? Do you think, should we say he was good or he was bad?
I would say neutral.
Yeah, I'd say in between.
Okay, we've got on that one, guys. If you want to join in the conversation, do you feel that Barry was awesome when utilised or shitty? You can call us on 760-512-7247. I'm going to add another little character to the mix on the positive ones as well. In terms of the Skylander series, I forgot what his name is, but he's the mole type character who gives you the side quests. What do you guys think?
Side quests is always a good thing.
Very much so. Are you tapping on a keyboard, by the way?
Who, me?
Yeah.
I have no keyboard. I'm using my
you there, Jeff.
I am.
I'm just hearing someone just go. Damn, dude's got game at the moment. He's like keyboarding like a nutcase. Okay.
I'm saying at the same time as I'm talking to you guys.
There we go. Now we know.
I'll tell you a bad character just because I know it will piss a lot of my friends off. No other reason. Is Ghost from the Call of Duty series.
Explain why.
Because
he's Ghost from the Call of Duty series. Enough said.
What about the guy that was Mason's friend in Black Ops? He was that bearded dude. I can't remember his name.
Was it John Price?
No, not Reznov. Reznov was awesome. The Russian dude that helped him get out of the prison.
Yeah.
That one.
I have no idea because I haven't played the game.
Oh, he was awesome because he was a minor character, but he was also a sidekick because he helped Mason escape the prison level and because he got trapped in prison, and then it turns out the Russians tried to race and kill the president, but Reznov actually reversed the brain manipulation so that he was Reznov to kill the Russian people that tried to turn Mason into a double agent.
So he actually helped.
Yeah.
That is awesome. Yeah, I can see the reason why. Here's another one. Doc Lewis from Punch-Out. Anybody knows who Doc Lewis is?
Is he the guy who stole your bike?
No, he is the guy that basically trains you.
Yeah, the guy who steals your bike.
He's awesome because he helps you out with, in terms of characters. Like, I'll totally, I believe it's applicable more to the Wii version of the game than to any of the others. He's basically, because we'll talk about it quickly. Just bringing up his profile. He's an ex-heavyweight boxing champion and Little Mac's coach. In the Wii title, he's voiced by Riley Ng, and he's an overweight African-American man who wears a red jacket. He's very engaged in match training matches, and in the NES and Wii installments, Doc trains Little Mac as he fights throughout the World of Video Boxing Association circuit, and often includes Mac running behind Doc as he's riding his bike. Now, one of the most iconic features of the Punch-Out series, he's also invented the start punch Mac's strongest move, and he may have been named after legendary real-life boxer Joe Louis. He is awesome.
If you're named after Joe Louis, you are awesome.
Exactly. He's very similar to some of the opponents in the Wii version of Punch-Out. He uses every type of punch. Doc Lewis's Punch-Out, Doc usually says something before he attacks, such as dodge this one or duck this one. Chocolate bars fly off of Doc Lewis's head, and the player manages to stun Doc Lewis. In sparring matches, he began to use the star punches, and before his attempts you hit him with a star punch, he gets off you by hitting you with a very quick hook, though it can be avoided. He is awesome to the point that you can spar with him, and he says loads of inspirational stuff, and he trains you. He makes sure that you stays on your A game. He says inspirational stuff like, "You got it, kid. After you win, son, I feel like taking a ride on your bike," which is where Sean got the stolen bike thing from. He can always take a whooping, ha ha ha. Let's give Glass Joe a little respect here. He can always take a whooping. Hey kid, you're causing a mess out here. You keep this up, I'm going to have to grab a broom. He is so awesome, and he is one of the reasons why I got invigorated with the Punch-Out series when I started playing it again. And here's hoping that they bring out a Wii U version of Punch-Out. I would love to play that. What do you guys think? What about you, Sean? Do you like Doc Lewis?
I played the one on the NES, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I played the Punch-Out on the NES, and all I remember is some dude riding my bike. And I always thought to myself, dude, get off the bike and run, because you are the one who needs the jogging.
It's awesome.
I like Punch-Out. Punch-Out was cool because you get to, like, punch. It was the first boxing game that really was comical and stuff, and
I loved it. I think as a game in general, it's one of my favourite boxing games. But that's because I love Little Mac. I thought the series worked so well, and the way that they adapted it with the Wii console, it just helped immensely. And it's so good that it's now part of the Wii Select series. And what people are saying is playing Punch-Out brought me right back to my days as a kid, fighting Glass Joe and King Hippo in the original NES. I had such a great time in this game, sharing my experience. So there you go, guys. There's a recommendation from me. Buy Punch-Out. If you haven't got it, buy it for the Wii. It's awesome.
Just get it for King Hippo.
Oh, yeah. It has not Mike Tyson in this version, I'm afraid, so I'd feel bad for anybody that wants Tyson. But there we go. And just for Chris Dace, I'm just going to do a little...
You sound like you're from London!
There's a recommendation from a London man to the rest of you. So yeah, let's go back into the positives here in terms of characters that aided you in games in terms of sidekicks. So let's have a look at some other characters that we feel can actually they benefited.
The mask in Crash Bandicoot. Can't think what his name is.
Diddy Kong.
Diddy Kong, that's a good one.
Diddy Kong was pretty awesome as a sidekick. Not only was he like the friend of Donkey Kong, he helped you get to certain levels and stuff.
And you could throw in places as well.
Yeah, and you can always bring them back if he died.
Exactly. What about you, Sean? What do you think of Diddy?
I preferred Diddy Kong in Donkey Kong Country 3.
Okay, so how comes?
In Donkey Kong Country 3, you had Dixie Kong and the baby Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
I can't think what his name is, but I preferred those characters to Diddy Kong. I didn't like Diddy Kong at all. I thought he just sped up the game, didn't he? Really, that's all his job was. Whereas Dixie Kong could fly and Well, not fly, levitate.
Well, let's give you another character that I believe worked so well in the franchise. And her name is Maya Fey from Phoenix Wright. She was used in the first game before dying, but her spirit managed to aid you in helping you resolve loads of cases. So for Maya, let's give you an
Objection!
yes. She was awesome, and to boot, she had some awesome pair of tits for a gaming character. My God. I sat there looking at her, and I watched people cosplay her, and my jaw hits the floor. So, there you go. Google cosplay Maya Fey, or check it on fanboysanonymous.com, our parent site, and you're welcome. So, who else have we got here for? Let's do another positive before we go to another negative one that we hate. Max. In the Sam and Max series, the bunny rabbit who looks like he wants to kill you. He has an overbite the size of my foot. What do you guys think of Max? Have you guys ever played Sam and Max?
Sam and Max is point and click, isn't it?
Yeah.
I don't do point and click games.
Okay, basically this little character was a psychopath. He would aid you in your missions, and he would also go out to try and destroy things. He was awesome. He was a great character, and he was someone that I was so eager to play. I would like Goofy, Kingdom Hearts. Do we need Braden Mayhew here right now to actually speak on Goofy? What do you guys think of Goofy?
I like Goofy.
What about you, Sean? Have you ever played Kingdom Hearts?
I didn't know.
Oh.
Again, N64.
So you missed out on a lot when you didn't get a PlayStation.
Pretty much, yeah. I got PlayStation pretty much towards the end of its life.
That's where you should have stacked up on all the old games.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll talk a little bit about Goofy. We're going to talk about exactly what Goofy's role was in Kingdom Hearts. As you guys know, sorry, there's a bit of dead space there. Goofy appears alongside Donald and Sora in the Kingdom Hearts games. Goofy is captain of the Royal Knights of the King's McKinley's court, and he is the Disney Castle's court magician. Donald went out to search for the king and ends up teaming with Sora and the rest of their journey. Despite his position in Disney Castle, Goofy dislikes using weapons. Instead, he uses a simple shield in combat and attempts to avoid fighting whenever possible, preferring to find peaceful solutions to problems. Though simple-minded and clumsy as always, he's constantly the butt of comic relief. Goofy is a constant voice of optimism and surprisingly selective perceptive, often noticing other things miss and keeping his cool when Sora and Donald lose it. He comes off as a sage of the group, and despite how he is portrayed in the Disney cartoons. There you go.
I kind of think they should have kept Goofy as himself. I mean...
The clumsy oaf.
Yeah. I mean, that's not Goofy without him being the clumsy oaf.
Why's that?
Well, I'm so used to him being the clumsy, goofy character that you could laugh at. I mean, yeah, but he does get goofy in that way, but if you ever watch the cartoons, even with that, in the movies like the Goof Troop,
yeah,
you know, he was still goofy, but he could come out with that sage thing, so they could have kept him goofy and have him saying, like, smart stuff, because he actually had some smart advice in Goof Troop to his son at some point.
Okay, what about Oracle in Arkham Asylum? Sean, what do you think of Oracle?
She wasn't in the game all that much, was she, Oracle?
She was aiding you. She was basically the voice behind everything, and she would help you get through certain points in the asylum. And she tells you, like, how to do certain things, basically.
Mm-hmm.
She was always an asset in the game. So she was a good psychic. She was always heard but never seen. There you go. I think that's the best example I can use.
Yeah.
So would we say that she's an asset, or should we say that she's useless.
Oh, I would say she's an asset. She does help you with certain puzzles now and again.
I thought Oracle was good, but it would have been better if she was the Batgirl, Barbara Gordon.
Well,
because Batgirl, Barbara Gordon, I think, was a better character than her Oracle persona in the comics.
yeah, she's back as Barbara Gordon, Batgirl now in the New 52 because somehow she got her back sorted out and her legs are moving again, so that's kind of weird. But that's comics. What do you expect?
Well, that's why I don't like how the reboot made everything out, because the reboot kind of seems dumb how they changed everything.
I could see why they did it, but there are some things that I'm not happy with. But in a sense, so far so good. Okay, what about Rush in the Mega Man series of games? Your dog sidekick.
Who didn't like Rush?
Sean?
The only thing I remember about the dog is that you were able to bounce off the dog to reach higher places.
So he was an asset, would you call it, or?
I would say he's an asset, yeah.
There you go. So we got Rush.
I tell you when that's
I like Rush.
bad.
You could fly on him.
Go on.
A bad sidekick is Bob from Bubble Bobble.
Why is that?
You cannot get the true ending unless somebody else played the fucking game.
It was one of those where you needed co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know, this actually bugs me. I've said this a million times. In order to a game to reach its full potential, if it has a multiplayer quality, being assisted by the AI never helped. At all. And that's one of the reasons why it annoyed the shit out of me, the living shit out of me. So there we go on that one. What about Octagon from the Metal Gear Solid franchise? Didn't he piss himself in one of the games?
I liked Octagon. Every time you died, it was Snake!
Yeah, it was a huge positive. But I believe he did piss himself.
That was Meryl that said Snake.
No, Octagon did as well.
Octagon did it in Metal Gear Solid 4.
I can tell you, did he piss himself? Oh, he was declared best buddy in gaming by Machinima.com. Crack.com included them in their 2010 list of 6 video game sidekicks that are actually more effective than actual heroes, stating that really Octagon doesn't need Snake at all. The only thing keeping us from Metal Gear Solid nerdy mouth breather is the fact that Octagon pees all over himself when he's scared and has sex with his stepmother.
Wait.
There you go. But any
Wow,
guys
that was weird.
any of you guys that find stepmothers hot, then you can live through Octagon. So yeah, that kind of makes things awkward. He's the cue to Snake's James Bond, and he's basically that Snake wouldn't be half the man he is without Octagon backing him up. Do you guys agree?
I agree, yeah.
I think Snake could have done without Octagon.
Why so?
Well, I just didn't like how, every time Snake died, they would say his name real loud.
Snake!
It's real annoying.
I'm actually, just because I want to, I'm gonna play that now. Play that clip. Let's play that for you guys. There we go. I know there's a pause there for you lot. Sorry about this.
Now, there we go.
I believe there's something wrong with the boards here, because on my board it says that no one's on calling, but we had someone that actually called. Eep. I think there's a problem with board call.
Oh.
Sorry about that. If you did try to call in, and there's nothing. Sorry about this, guys. If you did try to call in, give us a call again. I do apologise. I think there's a problem with the switchboard as it stands today. I don't know what's going on. Apparently someone did try to call in and it didn't go through. I do apologise if you have done. The system for some reason didn't come. Oh, there we go. We've got Mr. Payton back in. Sorry about that, Mike. For some reason the switchboard didn't show anything.
It can happen. Blog Talk Radio tends to have an error once in a while. I was listening to you guys. Like these guys are talking about Goofy. Okay, when are they going to bring me in? They're talking about Goofy. They're talking about Goofy.
So do you have an opinion on Goofy there for us?
No, I'm actually a very big Goofy fan. I'm actually curious how you got to Goofy. I mean, we're talking about sidekicks, right? Goofy was never Mickey's sidekick in any games. Didn't Mickey had like some other sidekick in that epic Mickey game, didn't he?
He did.
And I remember like a really early NES game, it was like Mickey and Minnie together.
I know, we were talking about Goofy from the fact that he was in the Kingdom Hearts series.
Oh, okay, yes. All right, yes.
That's why I was saying that we needed Braden Mayhew here to talk more about it, because he's a huge Kingdom Hearts fan. And I was explaining to these guys the reason why the character worked so well, because he never had a weapon. He was more pacifist. So he actually had his own shield. He was kind of like the moral compass with the group and never lost his temper like the other two. So he was a good character and a huge asset to the game. But Sean was like, yep, never played him. Because I never had a PSX. So it kind of didn't help. But we also talked about guys like Slippy the Toad, for instance, who we feel is one of the most annoying characters in Star Fox.
Oh,
Slippy
Star
Toad.
Fox? No!
Yeah.
And his mouth, his lips keep moving even after he finishes talking.
Yeah, it's the typical rabbit of do a barrel roll, do a barrel roll, do a barrel roll.
Yeah,
Yeah,
pretty much
I
all
like
the characters
Crystal.
except for Fox McCloud are annoying in that game.
I thought Crystal was annoying.
Crystal.
Yeah, the female fox.
Ah, yes. She wasn't in the first one, was she? She was in the second game. Star Fox 64. Am I right there, Jeff?
I think she was in 64, not the first one.
We'll go.
Yeah.
I think.
So have you got any sidekicks that you feel, Payton, are the worst ones that you've ever had to deal with?
Oh, the worst?
Yeah.
Oh, goodness gracious. I mean, I had a couple of the best in mind. I don't even think I thought of any of the worst. What were some of the ones you were saying for the worst?
We were going for the worst characters in gaming. Sean highlighted a couple. I was going for Navi in the Legend of Zelda series. Just
Navi was annoying, but, you know, she was only annoying in cutscenes. She didn't really affect game. Well, she did affect gameplay because she interrupted you a lot. So, yeah, okay. That makes sense.
We were also talking a little bit about Sonic's friends and how useless they are. Apart from, you know, we were back and forth about Tails, Knuckles the Echidna, which... yeah, go on.
See, Tails is my perfect example of a sidekick. He's there with you, got your back at all the times. He'll risk his life to follow you into death. When you need him as a backup, he'll start flying and you can jump and grab a hold of him. So he's really useful and he's not really a hindrance at all. I mean, he's dumb, but he's loyal. It's cool. And he's a fox. I hate a fox. Foxes are awesome.
Well,
I hated him so much.
He was great, I believe, in the 16-bit platforms.
It was so lame.
But in terms of the new games, he kind of doesn't stand out anymore. And I think part of that
who the hell does in the new games?
Exactly that. And I think a lot of it is due to the fact that they gave Sonic loads of people in the frickin' game that it just got to the point where it was annoying. We also talked about Baby Mario and how if you've ever played Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island, when you end up getting hit, he gets in a bubble and he ends up flying off and cries constantly, so you can't actually stay focused on trying to get this baby. It's extremely annoying, but it's also kind of useful because the whole premise of the game is to make sure you keep the baby safe. But we've had more positives than negatives, haven't we, Sean?
Yeah.
Because we were talking about the Mia Fey from the Phoenix Wright series as well, and how she was utilised in that game as well. She's like kind of the tutorial, the person helping you through. She gets killed early on as well, and she's part of the main cases of the game. I'm highlighting like a couple of more as we speak. So see if you guys, because the last one we talked about was Octagon, and how he is he's a great sidekick in terms of the Metal Gear Solid franchise, and how he aids Snake. He's sort of one of those guys. He's not really seen; he's more heard from. Apart from the major scene where you see him pissing himself. Yeah. And apparently it's been stated that he sleeps with his stepmom. So, don't hate the player. Have you got any others that you would see as positives?
Oh, absolutely. Ones that immediately come to mind, and, I have a bit of a soft spot as a history nerd, is throughout the Assassin's Creed series, working with people like Da Vinci and Benjamin Franklin and Paul Revere. And they work sort of as your sidekicks in those games. They aid you in missions. They give you valuable information. And I love getting that from an actual historical figure.
I'm currently working with Paul Revere at the moment in, I believe it's Assassin's Creed 3, isn't it?
Yes.
And I'm getting kind of lost. I'm on a horse with him. He's like, over here, over here. He kind of points you into the right direction, but you kind of have to find it yourself. That's probably me. I'm just that shit. Anybody else? Anybody else that tickles your fancy?
Well, the big one I wanted to mention, and this is my absolute favorite sidekick in gaming, Player 2, because nothing's better than playing a game with a friend by your side on a couch, playing the same game, not having to both own the same system in the same game and an Xbox Live Gold account.
I couldn't agree with you more.
Player 2.
I couldn't agree with you more. And we were saying this, me and Sean were actually talking about this a minute ago, how AIs can't just do a game justice.
Oh,
when you're playing with an AI, you can never get the good ending. You can never get into, get yourself out of a situation to the point where they could even lead you to your eventual doom. Sean was actually highlighting one of the earliest ones with Bubble Bobble. Sean?
Hello.
Yeah, you were talking about one of the earliest issues of an AI in Bubble Bobble.
Bubble Bobbles. There's one level where you actually need to have a player 2, so you can get a secret book which will give you the proper ending to Bubble Bobble. And without player 2, there is no way you can get that ending.
And also
the highly praised, super awesome ending of Bubble Bobble.
I have to YouTube that shit, man.
I want to actually highlight that as well because of the basis that a lot of games that you play multiplayer online as well, there are some good players who will guide you through and help you through a few games. But I've highlighted this before where if you're playing with someone on live or if you're on PSN, I don't think this happens much on PSN. It does happen a lot on live. I was playing a game like Dead Rising 2, for instance, where I had a gamer literally hit me over the head with a pipe and left me for dead with a horde of zombies. And it happens a lot. Games like Castle Crashes, for instance, as well. If you're trying to get through a quest, someone might just throw you into a pit and then start a fight with you, killing you just to, give themselves their own little bit of massaging in their crotch area. It's ridiculous. I think localization of gaming does help, and it's something they're attempting. I'm not saying they are taking away, but they are attempting to take away with the newest consoles. I hope they bring it back because there's nothing more awesome than playing with someone next to you. But I do have to admit, sometimes player 2 can annoy. If you've played Super Mario Brothers U, I've had moments where I've thrown people in pits. Because they've run so fast and left me for dead.
Local multiplayer is one of the biggest deciding factors of why I decided to get a Wii U. Because they always have the funnest multiplayer games. That's where I'm going to play Mario Kart. That's where I'm going to play Mario Party. It's where I'm going to play Smash Brothers. It's where I'm going to play Mario Brothers. It's where I'm going to be playing, all that kind of stuff.
No, I agree with you. I'm a huge Nintendo buff. I have every single Nintendo console known to man in my home, and the fact is the Wii U is no different. That's one of my deciding factors as well, because I've got 4 kids with me, and I can play 5-player on this little console with them. They love it. I've got loads of multiplayer games, loads of co-op games, stuff that they can play with me and we can work together, you know, and they're doing awesome at the moment. We played through about 4 or 5 different multiplayer games, including Mario Brothers U. It was so good that we got the Luigi U expansion pack. And guys, it's out at the moment in Nintendo eShop. It's pretty much for a large... Yeah, I would say so. It's pretty much the large price of $17 over here. And you get basically a brand new game. It starts off the similar version of Super Mario Wii U, but the timing scaled down, so you only have 99 seconds to get through each level. You have to be very fast. You've got the rare bit on your team as well, who's doesn't really collect anything, but he also doesn't get damaged, so he's a good asset to have on your team. Luigi jumps higher. The game's played with a new and different perspective, and it does get annoying at times. It's extremely hard to play if you're playing on your own. I've died on the first level, which never happened to me on Super Mario Bros. U. I actually died on the first level to the point where I had to continue. So it's that good, it's that hard. If you're looking for a challenge, pick up Luigi U expansion pack, guys. It's a good DLC.
Right.
So
with that, I am going to bow out again so I can get back to my player 2. So, yeah.
I want to quickly get you on your plugs, Payden. Is there anything you want to quickly plug before we go off the air? Because we've only got 8 minutes left.
Well, I want to thank everyone for listening to this fine program here on Mega Powers Radio, currently airing every Saturday. So if you're a video game fan, make sure you tune in here, or if you're listening to it in post, you should be joining us live, and you should be calling into the show to give your opinions on what we're talking about. Why are you just being a loner? Come join the conversation. And the big thing I want to push right now here on Mega Powers Radio is on August 18th. If you're a wrestling fan, here on Mega Powers Radio will be the biggest pre-party to the biggest party of the summer. We're having a WWE SummerSlam pre-show. Starts at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's going to be hosts from Keeping Kayfabe and Smart Out Moment joining together as one to give our SummerSlam predictions and take your calls once again, just like we can on this show. And that's the big thing I'm going to be pushing here. So, yeah, thanks, Mike. Keep up the good work.
No problem, Mr. Payden. Thank you very much, and I hope you're having a great game.
Thank you, man. Have a good night, folks. Good night, Internet.
You too.
See him.
Okay, Jeff, have you got anything for us that you want to plug quickly?
Nope.
You can catch Jeff on Twitter and Facebook and all those other little applications. Do you have a Twitter account, Jeff?
Yes, I do. I just don't know the URL or URL. But you can look it up by my name.
Okay, there you go. So you got Jeff on there. Sean, have you got any plugs for us? I know you've got a YouTube channel up and running. He plays Pokemon, but he also is going to be playing through loads of other little games and bits and pieces. He is awesome. People, find him on YouTube and subscribe. He does some awesome playthroughs. Hopefully, Nintendo just leave him alone.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, yeah, like you said, I got my YouTube channel. I can't post anything till the end of the month because I don't have the laptop on me, so please download the Skype app for your phones if you want to call in the show for free. There you go, nice plug there. And follow me on Twitter at Shaughnessy2K37. I think that's my Twitter, or is that my YouTube? I don't know, just type in Shaughnessy2K37 on Twitter and you'll be able to find me.
When you're on 1989 on YouTube, I believe it's Sean Hennessy 1989 on YouTube, guys. It's 2K37 on Twitter.
Yeah.
You can also find him on an awesome place called fanboysanonymous.com, which is the home of I Got Gameplay. It's www.fanboysanonymous.com. You can also catch me on YouTube, youtube.com/TheNerdGenius, TheNerdGenius. That's The Nerd Genius, because that's the most awesome channel that you'll ever see. If you need a gaming fix, I do weekly gaming vlogs, sometimes more than once a week, where I talk about everything. At the moment, I've got a rant up in terms of Nintendo, regards to their situation and them taking over monetization on certain YouTube channels in order to gain revenue from other people who've worked really, really hard on their videos. It's currently holds 58 views at the moment. Get those views up, guys, and spread the message if you can, because I'm hoping that Nintendo will listen. I'm going to be emailing them as well, probably get a petition sorted out to get people to stop this menace from happening. I believe Nintendo is making a big mistake. I don't blame them. Sometimes companies can be irrational. If you've got the right person talking to you in your ear, you tend to stray from the right purpose. And in terms of anything else, if you want to look for articles, fanboysanonymous.com. I recently had Bill Murray Week going on, which was brilliant. Had Bill Murray reviews, Bill Murray, everything Bill Murray. It was a great, great time had by all. And check out I Got Gameplay, of course, which is 8 p.m. every Saturday on Mega Powers Radio. On Mega Powers Radio, we've got a list of loads of shows, including Geek Speak, including I Got Gameplay, including our wrestling podcast as well. And we're going to have a very special edition of Smack Talk airing on Mega Powers Radio, exclusively on Mega Powers Radio. And if you want to check that out, just go to youtube.com/SmarkOutMoment for more, www.smarkoutmoment.com. And as always, guys, thank you for listening to the show. If you want to call in, you can always do on 760-512-7247 or listen to us in post. We're available on Stitcher, BlackBerry Podcasts. We're available on Libsyn. We're available everywhere. So make sure you check us out, because your support means that, the world to us. And that's pretty much it, guys. So we'll see you next week for another I Got Gameplay. So see you then. Let's see if I can find that outro.